Guys, it is release day. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon on January 21st. Onyx Storm release day. I probably looked crazy wiping my eyes. I just threw my contacts in. I barely have work, okay? I'm in between projects. I'm looking for a new project, but it's quiet, it's quiet. So I'm gonna run out to Barnes & Noble. I just called the store. Originally, I didn't think I had a shot at getting a physical copy today because I thought it was gonna be craziness, but I've been having major FOMO seeing everybody pick up their physical copies on Instagram. I pre-ordered the one on Amazon. I have no date for the delivery for that. And it'd probably come in March. So I called Barnes & Noble just to check, and they said they have a couple editions. So I'm gonna run over and get my own copy. That way I don't have to have FOMO. I'm so excited. I'm probably gonna like lose money because I only spent like 20 bucks for the pre-order on Amazon, and it'll probably be like 35 or something at the store, but whatever. At least not all my money's going to Amazon all the time. I'm so excited. Let's go!
4, 5, and R trains. This is a Brooklyn College, Whitefish Avenue bound 2 train. The next stop is
I got it! I'm so excited. It's so fun to be like in the middle of the hype of everything. I was like sprinting to the train station to make sure I could get a copy. They had plenty at the Barnes & Noble in Brooklyn. Very excited. And then I swung by the Target. I needed to pick up like homeware items anyway, so I just wanted to check, and they were cleared out. And I did a circle around as I was like shopping for my normal stuff, and then the guy was putting Onyx Storm books on the shelves, and I was like, whoa. I ran over there, but they were just like the plain ones. They didn't have any sprayed edges or anything. They just had like normal paper. So I was like, okay, never mind. I got excited for half a second. Not that I need 2 editions, but with all the hype, you get caught up, okay? So I'm so happy. So I'm gonna make this video a reading vlog of this book. It's gonna have spoilers in it. I mean, it's the 3rd book in a series. So if you're watching this video and you haven't read the first 2, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, like maybe wait until you do. Or if you don't care about being spoiled, you can watch my recap videos if you don't know what's going on at all with those 2 books, and then you can come join me here. So yeah, I'm gonna do spoilers for this. I don't think I'm gonna do it at the level that the recaps were, because those end up being super chatty, and I can't do fun, like vloggy things. So I think this is gonna be like a regular vlog, but I'm just gonna talk specifics when I feel like it with this book. So, and I'm so excited to read it with Sam and Eliza still. It's so fun to actually do buddy reads with them, because we don't read very similarly. Because we normally don't read that similar. Like Sam and Eliza read a lot of the same things with the fantasy, but I'm the odd man out. So I'm excited to be like included with them for once, and it's great. I'm having so much fun. Okay, I'm gonna get back to editing, and I will talk to you later. This better be good. This better be good. Poor Zayden, I'm so worried for him. I'm so worried for him. Okay, bye for now. Good morning. It is Saturday, and it's been a few days since I picked up Onyx Storm. I haven't done that much reading, to be honest. I think I'm maybe like 30 odd pages into the book, and I'm really nervous about Zayden still, my poor sweet baby Zayden. Currently, I'm laying on the couch with my legs up, icing my knees. I ran 8.5 miles. I'll pop up some vertical clips that I took because it's very cold and icy out, and I thought it would be fun. Maybe I make sure I'm not in the middle for that. It's fucking cold. So yeah, super icy, beautiful out, like with the sun shining, but like so cold. My hands were hurting so bad by 5 miles, even though I had gloves on. But I'm glad I got it done, but my knees are struggling and I'm a little discouraged with the inflammation. I went to the doctor and she said everything's fine, it's just inflamed. And she gave me some PT, and honestly, I haven't been doing the PT consistently because it just takes so long to do. Hi, it has been a few days since I started reading Onyx Storm. I am currently on page 184, chapter 21, and I'm still really enjoying it. I got nervous because I checked Goodreads to see like who had finished it. What day is it? It's the 29th of January, and I saw that Jess and Tori both rated it 2.5 stars, so I was like, oh no, they hate it. Like, am I not gonna like this book? But Eliza finished it the other day and she still loves it. I don't know what rating she gave it. I should probably ask her. That like encouraged me again. So I started reading it with more like gusto, and I'm just having so much fun. I still really love it. It's funny. I've laughed out loud multiple times. Riddick is like the star of the show. I love him. If he dies, I will be devastated, okay? Nothing can happen to him after what we've been through with Liam. If Riddick dies, I'm gonna lose my mind. The pacing is slowish. It's like kind of slow, but I'm still intrigued. Oh, my dad's calling me. Fuck. Let me answer this. Okay, I talked to my parents for a while, and Chase is now nearly done with his run. He's gonna be coming upstairs to interrupt this clip. You know what? Chase is gonna come up here, and there's no fucking point. I should just wait. Fuck, and I need to post that other video. You know what? We'll talk after Chase goes to bed, because now I don't have time to update you before he comes home from his run. So, see you in maybe an hour and a half. Okay, I'm finally back. So I wanted to give you my thoughts on the things that have been happening so far in this book. The main thing, like I was saying earlier, like the pacing is a little slow, but like I'm still really enjoying it. I'm truly invested in the plot and like how Violet's gonna solve the problem of Xaden being Venin, which is like one of those dark wielder evil people. Not that he's evil, but like he took energy from the earth, which is like what the Venin do, which is bad in this world. And he's kind of like trying to fight the desire to do that more. And I like that conflict in their relationship a lot better than I liked the conflict between them in the second book, because the second book she was just like kind of bitchy and complaining. And in this one there's definitely a good reason for them to be having a hard time, and he's trying to keep his distance from her to keep her safe. You know, he's worried that if he loses himself, you know, when they're having intimate moments, that he could hurt her by accident. So he's like, I'm only gonna allow myself to kiss you, and like he's always like stopping himself, but he wants her so badly and she wants him, and I just love pining so much. So this is really like working for me. I just love a pining hero, and he just loves her so much, and like seeing him get a little bit jealous. So wait, before I go on a rant about that, let me just say, this book is also super funny, and Riddick is the star. Okay, he's the star of the show outside of, like, obviously Violet and Xaden. He's killing me. He's so funny. So Riddick is teasing Violet. He's, like, with Sawyer and Rhiannon, like, the whole gang. Rhiannon's like, you and Ryorzen bicker like you've been married 50 years and neither of you wants to do the dishes. And Violet's like, no, that's not true. Sawyer's nodding. He's like, yeah, that's true. And then Riddick goes, agreed. And it's always the same fight. He lifts his hand to his chest. I'll trust you if you stop keeping secrets. He drops the hand and scowls. It's my secretive nature that attracted you. And why can't you just stay out of harm's way for 5 fucking minutes? Putting on an impression of Xaden. And it's just so funny. Okay, not that my rendition of that was as good, but like when you read it, it's funny. And then I took another picture of this scene on page 101. Everybody refer to your books. It's just the pining for me. I'm dying, right? So like Xaden was like kissing her or whatever, and then he like pulls himself back, and she just is basically just wanting whatever he's willing to give her at this point until she can find a cure for like him being Venom. And he's like, and that's good enough for you? One kiss, no hands, fully clothed, that's what you want from me now? And Violet's like, she knows this is a loaded question. She's like, I want whatever you're able to give. And he's like, no, a kiss isn't enough. It never is with us. Oh my God. What a man. I don't know. I'm dying. And I also took a picture of this in the beginning. This is like really early on, a couple pages in. Obviously, like Rebecca Yarros is gonna re-describe the characters up front. She doesn't like have to describe them every time, but like at the start of the book, like let's re-ground us into what everybody looks like. And she describes Xaden. A muscle in his square jaw ticks as he stares down at me, rippling the tawny brown skin of his stubbled cheek. He's tawny and brown. The man is not white, everybody, okay? Let's just all agree. I know some of my friends agree because they DM'd me when I posted this picture of Black Xaden. Here's another one that I like. I love that because that's how I feel. And apparently Rebecca Yarros, according to my other friend Hannah, has confirmed that he's not white, that he's black. I don't know if he's black. I don't know if she said he outwardly that he's black. I don't know. But let's just all get on the same page, okay? We don't have to whitewash all the characters in fan art. So the big things that are happening in the plot is that Violet's trying to find a cure for Xaden. He doesn't think it's possible, but he goes along with whatever she wants to do. Violet's on this like mission squad thing because Andarna is this rare 7th species of dragon, the iridescent breed, but she's like the only known one on the continent. So they're pretty sure there are other dragons like her, and they're trying to find them because they think this type of dragon can help them defeat the Venom, because Venom aren't affected by dragons breathing fire and all that, but for some reason Andarna was able to burn a Venom in the last book. But then Tarn is kind of like, oh, maybe it was just because it was your first time breathing fire and like that one's always the hottest one. I don't know. But they think these iridescent dragons, if they find them, can help them with the Venom. So they're like on a mission to like go to the surrounding isles to see if they can find any and like reconnect with these other countries and stuff that they've been isolating themselves from for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like they're not on good terms with these other countries. So we got a lot of like political stuff going on. Xaden like goes to the front lines for a little while, but he's not doing so well because he's like accidentally pulling energy in the Venom fashion. He like needs to be within the wards to be less, I don't know, tempted to do that or like more in control of himself. And he comes back to the school as like a professor, and I was like, Professor Xaden? I was like, yes, please. I was like really like, Professor. And obviously Vi's still a cadet. She's only like a year or two. It's against the rules to have a relationship with the professor. And Xaden's like, I don't care. And Vi's like, no, we are not together anymore. And he's like, no, we are still together. But for whatever reason, Dane's father, he's back. Like, he got fired in the last book from Vi's mom. But Vi's mom has died because she's reset the ward or whatever. She gave all her energy to repower the wards. And Dane's father, his last name's Atos. I guess he's considered the general. General Atos is now running the school, and he's like obsessed with Violet for some reason. I don't know why he hates her so much. Well, I mean, I guess she did get him fired. But he did try to kill them in the second book. So I don't know. He's annoying. But he's like our new villain, and he's determined to like make Xaden and Vi's lives hell. So he's like, yeah, I'm keeping my eye on you guys if I ever catch Xaden breaking the rules by being with you, even though he's a professor. Like, I don't know. He's just a miserable person. So he has some of these other cadets like spying on them to make sure that they don't cross any lines. There's like a lot of political stuff going on, like I said. So at the school, they're like trying to like work with the Serendium or whatever. I don't know what they're calling it. It's like the royals to come to a peaceful agreement with Paramel, the other country that they've been battling for a while, even though the Paramel people aren't the true enemy, right? The Griffin Riders are now at the school. The like Navarre Riders, Dragon Riders versus the Orishan Dragon Riders have beef because the Navarre ones of like the main country are pissed that the Orishan ones like left them because they knew the truth and like all this drama. So there's a lot of like tension between the students. And then in other news, besides Xaden being a professor, he's also been given his dukedom back. So Xaden's family were like the aristocrats of Orisha, which is a city within the province of Torondor, which is a part of the larger country Navarre, and then Paramel is another country. If you're watching this video, you probably already know that. So, turns out he's been given his dukedom back to the entire province of Torondor. So now he's a duke. So he's hot, he's shadow daddy, he's very powerful, he's lieutenant, I think is his official title in the war hierarchy. And then he's also a professor, and now also he's a duke. Okay? So, there's that. Another funny thing that happened was on one of Vi's missions, she's like I said, she's trying to find a cure for Zayden on the DL and also trying to find the iridescent dragons, right? So she's forced to work with this group of people that she doesn't want to work with. She doesn't really have a choice. It's like this Professor Grady guy who's arrogant and seems like so out of his league with this mission. And then this cadet, Aura, who's basically there to spy on her for Atos, the general, Dane's dad. And she's annoying, this Aura girl. She's like a third year, and she's a fire wielder. So they're on their mission. They're in this like town that's been decimated by the dark wielders. It's all like sucked dry. Like you can tell that all the magic has been sucked out of the earth and the stones and the woods and the building and like everything. It's abandoned. And they're there to try to find like this stone and a necklace to barter with before they go to another country to like have a meeting. Like they need to get this thing. And the Aura girl, she's very nervous. And Vi's like, can you just fucking chill? Because they don't want to attract any of the venom to them, right? They've like snuck out to this place. They're like in enemy territory. And the easiest way to attract a venom is if you use magic, right? So they're like, just don't wield and we should be good. Don't use your magic. Just chill the fuck out. Nobody's here except our group. And Aura's like on it. She's like, no, you need to be at the ready at all times. And Vi's like, dude, I've been doing this for kind of a little while. I know you're a noob. Just chill. So they hear a noise. It's like a bottle rolling down the street, and the girl like jumps. She's like freaked out, and Vi's like, can you calm down? Then they hear another noise, and like a door opens, and the Aura chick gets so freaking scared. She fire wields. She blasts towards the door, and it was the professor. It was Professor Grady, the guy that's on the mission with them. She blasts him with fire. He's burning on fire. He's like, ah. And she kills him. He died because she was too scared and she has no chill. Like, I hated him. He was annoying. He was hindering Vi, but like, and I was like, I just wish he would die. But like, for him to die that way was unhinged. That was hilarious. So now she's wielded. So the Wyvern and the Venom are likely on their way. So they're like, shit, what are we gonna do? And because she has fire wielding and the place is all desiccated and like decrepit and stuff, she set all the buildings are now burning and the wind is taking the embers and like, it's just like becoming a fire town. And the buildings are too packed together that the dragons can't land and pick them up, right? So they have to like run to try to escape the flames to get to like this open courtyard so the dragons can pick them up, right? So, I don't know, someone goes ahead of her. Maybe it was the sister or something, like Vi's sister, and she gets picked up by her dragon. And then they tell Aura, they're like, Aura, go, run out so you can get picked up by your dragon. So she runs out into the courtyard, but instead of getting snatched by her own dragon, she gets snatched by a wyvern, which are the bad non-dragon dragons. And it's described amazingly. It's like the claw comes and it pierces through her body and like claw comes out her back like you see it like, oh. And the claw comes out through her back like this. And she's dead. She's been murdered. And it was just hilarious. It was the funniest death. It was the funniest set of deaths I've read. And it was satisfying because I hated both of them. But I was just like literally jaw on the floor. I was not expecting it to happen that way. Oh, God. So now they're at like Viscount Takaris's palace to give him the necklace to trade. I don't know. I think they're just resting there because they're on their way to this southern isle. Oh, also another big thing that happened is that Vi accessed one of her dad's old journals. It had like some locks on it, but she figured out the code. And he's implying that she needs to go to this island, like Deverelli or something it's called, to like meet with some merchant or something. So his journal is a bit secretive, but it's leaving clues for her to figure out some stuff, and he's definitely implying that he knows about the venin and like the wyvern and all this stuff. So her dad's been dead for a long while, but he's helping through his journal. That's where I left off. I'm having a great time. I think Sam is still in the middle of reading it, and then my friend IRL, Maddie, just picked hers up, or she just got hers in the mail from Amazon, and she's starting it. So it's been super fun. I hope I continue to keep loving it. Hopefully I finish this soon. It's already Wednesday, and I was hoping to finish this by Friday, and that's definitely not gonna happen. All right, that was a really long update, so I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Okay, it's the next day, and Chase and I had a little friends date with our good friend Oriana. We were heading over to Brooklyn to get some brunch at this new spot called Aunts et Uncles, new to us at least. And it was such a vibe. I'm pretty sure it's Black owned. And they had so many delicious vegan brunch options for everyone to enjoy. Here's a shot of our little friend group. The sun was shining. I was soaking it up. And this food was so good. It was like healthy, but they also had a mix of like fun and just soul food meals. These potatoes I would sell my soul for. They were so fire. This oatmeal I did not eat. This was Chase's, okay? And then this vegan egg sandwich I got. It was really tasty, and I would definitely recommend it. On our way to get coffee, we came across these free books, but I was good. I withheld and didn't take any home. And then we finally made it to the Brooklyn Museum. I'd been here before with my mom and her bestie for a special exhibit, but this was my first time getting a chance to check out some of the other regular floors. And on this day, they happened to have some kind of like community art event, so that was fun to stumble upon. And then we're just going through some of the cultural exhibits. This statue guy, okay, he had a good booty on him, all right? I was intrigued. And then Chase and Oriana are just chilling in the background. We were having a fun time just catching up and exploring. I'm holding my book, of course. I didn't bring a bag big enough to carry it, but I felt like it was a vibe to keep it in my arms. And then this vase I really like. It gives Victorian vibes, but if you look closer, you see these iconic wrappers from like the 90s, 2000s, and I feel like it would totally match the vibe of this room, but like low-key hella modern, you know? And then the statue was trying to one-up the Statue of Liberty. 2 torches, girl, 2? Okay. And this painting, took my breath away. This mirror, oh my God, this black mirror was stunning. I would love to have something as iconic in my own home. And then we checked out the special limited time solid gold exhibits. This gave very like Hollywood, gold costumes, gold props, gold awards vibes. It was fun to look around with Chase and Oriana. It's a Academy Award, a Golden Globe, and what is it?
A Grammy.
A Grammy.
All for the same song.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't notice that. Super cool. And then I had to take a shot of this golden woman here. What a pose. I wish I was flexible like that. And then we went back home and we started doing this puzzle that Ina gifted me for Christmas. Parth joined us too for the evening. I got a little distracted. I was talking on the phone with my mom planning a trip, but I came back at the end to help them finish the puzzle off, and I think it turned out great. Here's the end result. Me and Ina. Hi, it is Sunday, Feb 2nd. It's been a minute since we spoke, and the last time I talked to you, I was actually sitting here, upside down, icing my knee, probably. And then today, Chase and I went on an 11-mile hard speed interval run. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it because I've been recovering. I had a bit of an injury in December and I took some time off, but Chase has been training really hard and I decided to tag along on his workout and I survived it. We're both chilling here on the couch recovering. He's cozy on the couch just like me. And I have my book club meeting for the basketball team actually in half an hour to talk about that finance book I mentioned in my Feb TBR. It's called The Informant. I'm listening to it via audio. I haven't finished it, but we're only supposed to read up to part 2. I've passed part 2. I'm probably on like part 4. I don't know. I'm past 50% through. It's a long book. It's interesting, but it'll be fun to just meet with the girlies and chat online and just catch up in general, because a lot of us don't get to see each other very often. So happy about that. Reading wise, I kind of had to switch gears a little bit. Finishing Onyx Storm is going to take me a little bit longer than I originally wanted to, because I'm going on a bachelorette trip, flying out this Thursday, and I have to do Sam's Red Rising live show on Wednesday. So I switched gears to prioritizing Red Rising. Prioritizing. I haven't read that much, but I plan on retwisting my hair because my hair is not cute right now. I need to look cute for this bachelorette party, obviously, and feel like my true self with all my twists. Like, that's how I feel the most myself. So I'm going to start doing that today, and I'm going to listen to Red Rising while I do it. It's going to take me probably at least 3 days to do it all. And it's just going to, it takes hours and hours. It probably takes like 20 hours or something. Like, it's ridiculous. It takes me so long. Yeah, just dreading that. And I actually got distracted reading a Mariana Zapata book just randomly. I picked up Lingus, which is a story about a mid-20s woman who falls in love with a porn star. And it's their romance. It's an interesting dynamic. This is Mariana Zapata's first book. I decided I wanted to read all her stuff chronologically. So I started with that one, and the writing style is very different. Like, it's still slow burn, but it's not like the slowest burn, which is interesting. And the female main character, her name's Kat. She's sometimes like tries to be open-minded and stuff, but then other times she's like such a judgy bitch. I think it's just like a victim of its time, where this was written in maybe like 2013, 2015 or something. We just don't talk the same way that we used to, or like try to be funny in the same way. So yeah, sometimes she's just kind of like rude. Or she'll say stuff like, oh, I just wish he was just ugly, like if he had a butt chin, or like stupid shit like that, you know. I'm like, okay, oh, whatever. So yeah, but I'm enjoying it overall. I'm almost done with it. I'm like 92% of the way through. At this point, I'm reading an extended epilogue. So we'll see. For Onyx Storm, the reading updates I have are really not that much. They ended up going to the island, like one of the islands that they need to explore to like figure out how to beat the Dark Wielders or whatever. And Violet went on a side mission on that island with her friends to acquire something that her dad left for her. He like left a clue for her in that journal she got from her mom's office. It turns out to be like more locked books. So yeah, I'm just curious to see what the dad already knew. I don't know why he was keeping everything a secret. And it's so funny like checking Instagram and stuff, because Eliza keeps putting like Onyx Storm related reels. And one she put today that I saw was like her basically saying like, when you want your friends to hurry up and finish the book so that they can panic about how it ended with you. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm working on it. And Sam left a comment too. She's like, I'll finish it soon. So yeah, having a good time just buddy reading in general. That's all I have for now. I'm gonna continue on with life, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Hello, it has been a while since I've spoken to you. It's Thursday, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, but I've done more reading on this. It's been like over a week at a minimum since I've talked to you, because I took a bit of an intermission. I went to a bachelorette party for my friend Allie, and it was like a wild time in Florida. It was 15 girls total. I had a blast. I posted most of it on my stories. I didn't post the last day just because it was kind of like a chill at-home day. It doesn't matter. I did that, so I didn't bring this book because 1, I couldn't fit it in my luggage, and 2, I didn't want to damage it, and 3, I didn't think I was going to have too much time to read. I did find moments to read on my Kindle because it's a little lower profile, so I could like read it by the pool while people were chilling, or if I was like taking a break from like socializing, I could just whip out my Kindle while I was resting and things like that. But decided not to bring this. I've been writing down my thoughts for the latest update. Just remember, it's spoilers, and I'm not doing like a full recap, so if things don't make sense, like you have to have read the book. This isn't, you know, like the other 2 videos I did. The book has been kind of slow. Backing it up to the last time I talked to you, we find out that the dragons can't talk when they go to the islands off the continent. Like, there's just not that much magic outside of the continent, so they can't do their mind talking thing to their riders or to each other, which is crazy. Xaden is obviously going through this like venom evil transformation thing, but he does feel better when magic isn't tempting him. So being on the islands, he feels like such a relief, and they have like their little chance to hook up, like him and Violet, now that he doesn't feel like he's gonna hurt her. The first island they go to is this place called Deverelli. They want to use that as like a launching pad because it's the closest island to the continent, and the leadership, like the royals of the continent, want them to keep checking in with them every time they visit a new island. But they're like, that's a fucking waste of time. They eventually determine that's a waste of time. But either way, they're going to all the islands to try to make alliances and stuff because they're looking for allies to help them in the war against the Venom that are destroying their land and their people and killing people and causing destruction and obviously all this like terrorist type stuff. That first island, the leader there, the king, is like this young guy. He kidnaps the prince of the continent, like of Navarre, just because he can. And honestly, the prince is kind of an asshole. It's Vi's ex. He ends up getting his guard killed. And then Vi and Xaden have to save him. And then Xaden has to use his power again because the guards are attacking Vi, which is not good. It's like the more he uses it, the more likely he's gonna be like worse and worse and worse. They go back to campus. They ditch the a-hole prince and they get Eric to be their prince, even though he's been like pretending not to be a prince. He like changed his name and everything. He has a dragon and all that. He's like a true rider. So he's gonna be like their new royal ambassador in all these missions and stuff. They go to another island. People are not welcoming. It's this Umbriel island. And the strange thing about this island is that the people have silver hair. And Vi sees a young girl who's like 10 who has like half brown, half silver on the ends hair, just like she has, which she's never seen somebody else have hair like that before. So my suspicion, unconfirmed, is that they go through some kind of like transformation ritual process in this community that makes their hair completely silver. And because this girl's only 10, she's only partially done the ceremony ritual transformation thing. So I imagine Vi has only partially done it, but she didn't know she's ever done it before. Like maybe they do it when they're babies. And I'm like, is her father originally from this place? I don't know. A lot of interesting questions. I hope they go into that a little bit more, maybe in this book, or maybe in the next one. I have no idea. But intriguing. These people refuse to help them, so they move on. They're also looking for the iridescent dragons, which is what Andarna is, because they have a suspicion that they will be able to help them in the war as well and like help them find a cure for Xaden being Venom and all this stuff. So they move on to another island. They're not checking in with the royals. They're like, fuck it, we're just gonna go rogue and like do whatever we want and not follow commands and suffer the consequences when we get back. Like, this is more important. Otherwise it would take us like months and months and months to like complete this mission. Then they go to another island called Hedonist or something, and Xaden's mom is there. She abandoned him when he was 10 and left him with the father. Apparently it was like an arranged marriage situation. She's like trying to butter him up and like be all nicey nice, but she's got like a whole new family. She's married to like one of the leaders in this community. There's like 3 leaders. The other thing about all these islands is like there's some kind of test. There's always like some stupid test, which I'm not the biggest fan of these tests. So the first one, I don't even remember what the test was. I think it was like a combat test or something. And then this other one, they like prize wisdom. So they're like asking them all these questions to see if they're wise or not. But it turns out one of the leaders tries to poison them with like a poison cake that the mother served them. And I was like so mad because I thought the mother was trying to poison them, but apparently she didn't know that it was poisoned. But Vi was like, I'm actually smart. And she had poisoned everybody beforehand, like with this like tea concoction she made. But she gave everybody on her side like the antidote before the dinner, and they were fine. But the leader guys and the mom were poisoned from Vi as like a backup, you know, if they didn't want to help her or if they were going to do something sneaky like they did. Unfortunately, Garrick, who is one of the riders, accidentally ate some of the cake, so he was poisoned and he was like dying, but Vi's able to save him. She figures out the antidote, whatever, it doesn't really matter, he's fine. Rebecca Yarros at this point though also did this like shady ass thing, which I was like freaking out over because Vi and Riddick, who's on this mission with her, are trying to find this antidote in the kitchen, right? So they run to the cook and be like, what the fuck was in the cake? What was in the cake? And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you. And he like throws a butcher knife towards them. Vi like dodges, but Riddick gets caught in the side. And I'm like, Riddick got caught in the side by the fucking knife. I cannot have Riddick die. And like literally in the text, I quote, it goes, not Riddick, not anyone, but especially not Riddick. Like those are Vi's thoughts. And I'm like, I 100% agree with you. Like, do not hurt Riddick. I love him. But turns out he's fine. It just like caught his clothing and had gotten stuck into like the countertop. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. I was like, why are you teasing me with Riddick's death? Like, I cannot handle that. Especially after the whole drama with Liam dying. My heart cannot take it. Like, some characters still die, but I can't have Riddick die, please. I'm really scared. He might die. He'll probably die. He will probably die. And I'm upset. But maybe not, because a lot of people have been posting about Riddick and how funny he is on TikTok and stuff. So maybe he'll survive this book. And then Vi like finishes off this like poison battle by threatening the children of Xaden's mom. She like put Andarna out of their windows to like kill them if she needed to make sure that the leadership guys don't betray them. I don't know, all this drama. It was a badass move on Vi's part to like do all that maneuvering. I really applaud her on that. That was BA. Moving on, we go to another island. It's like the Island of Luck, I think. Like the god of luck. For whatever reason, the people of this island are expecting them, and they're like, this is weird. They have like a whole stadium set up, and they're just like sitting in the stands, like hoping that they'll show up. And they start cheering, and they have to do this game of luck where they draw cards and have to receive these gifts. So like, for example, one of the cards was wine. So like Mira or whoever got wine. And then another one was a hand, and that person got like slapped across the face. And then one of the Griffin riders, this guy named Traegar, he pulled an arrow card, and then all of a sudden, he gets shot through the heart with an arrow and immediately dies. And I wasn't emotionally attached to him, but it was extra sad because Kat had finally moved on from her obsession with Xaden and was dating the Traegar guy. Like, they were holding hands and being all cute. And then he gets fucking murdered. And I'm like, oh, that fucking sucks. So they dealt with that and were pissed, but we're trying to, again, build allyships with this island, and that's like their customs with like receiving the gifts and not complaining about it. So they couldn't complain about their friend getting fucking murdered. So they held strong, and then they eventually got that island to agree to help them in the war. So they got like an army to support them. So at least it wasn't for nothing, but like that's really fucked up. Okay, so then in major news tied to that, right? So they're like, we don't want to burn or bury Traegar and his griffin here, right? Because for the griffins, their life is tied to the rider. So if the rider dies, the griffin will die through magic. Not like the dragons. Like the dragons can survive if their riders die, even though the riders can't survive without the dragons, as we saw with Liam. That guy died and his griffin died, and they didn't want to bury them on the island that killed them. So they're like, let's just fly out to an abandoned island. There's like a bunch of small deserted islands throughout the area. They find one, and it turns out it's not marked on the map. So they do the burning, and then they're like trying to branch out to like look around these deserted islands. Vi's waiting for like Andarna to wake up or something, or waiting for the fire to burn out for the ceremony of the 2 people that died. So she's just chilling on the island for like an hour or whatever, and then all of a sudden these iridescent dragons show up. They show up. Like they've been looking for these dragons forever, and they find them. So Andarna wakes up, she's so excited, and she's like telling these dragons her whole life story, and these dragons are not pleased. They're like highly disappointed. They're like, we actually left you on the continent because we wanted to see if the humans could be like peaceful creatures, but they're not. Like they've turned you into this violent weapon. And she's like, what? They're like, what happened to your tail? Because all of these iridescent dragons have feather tails because they're like peaceful and shit. But I guess as part of the growth of a dragon, they get to choose what their tail is. So Andarna had choose to have like, you know, like a sword tail or something. And they just found that so disgusting. And I was just like so heartbroken for her. They just rejected her so powerfully. Xaden and Garrick fly back because they've been gone for hours, right? And Andarna was telling her life story for a while. They come back, and the iridescent dragons see them, and they see that Xaden is a Venin. And they're like, we are definitely not helping you. You guys are disgusting and violent, and humanity is like lost, and like there's no cure to venin, like the venin disease. They're like, good luck. And then while that's happening, Riddick, who had stayed with Vi, sees that Xaden's eyes go red because he gets kind of mad in defense of Violet. He like feels that the dragons are like threatening Vi, like step into it or whatever, so he gets kind of enraged and his eyes go red, which is a telltale sign for venin. Riddick sees and he's like, what the fuck is going on? This is why you've been looking for a cure? He's a dark wielder, so there's drama with that. That's pretty much where I left off. So Riddick takes Violet to the side and is like, I won't tell people that Xaden is venin if you promise me that you will tell me where the line is. Like, how far are you willing to go for this dude? Like, he is not in a good place. I feel like Riddick's on the side of being like, we need to neutralize him. And it seems like Violet is going to do anything she can for him. Like, he wanted to determine, like, where's the line? So she's like, there is no line. And he's like, come on, give me a line. So she's like, okay, if he hurts anybody I care about or hurts me, like, that's the line. Then he goes to Xaden. He goes, like, later, like, he runs into Xaden. He's like, I won't tell anyone that you're a venin, but you have to agree to, like, at least letting Rhiannon, Sawyer, and Jasenia know. They're all still back at the War College. And Xaden's like, I don't fucking care who knows. I don't, as long, you know, he's like, I don't care. So they're gonna do that at some point. They've flown back to the school. They're supposed to be punished for, like, disobeying orders and all that. And that's where I left off. Hopefully the next time I talk to you, I've finished this book, or I'm at a very crucial moment at the end. Maybe we can do like a live reaction, because I heard the end gets emotional and wild and people are upset and crying. And my friend Maddie, who I was just telling you about, was like reading it on the train and she's like freaking out. And she's like, I need a break from reading after that and all this stuff. So yeah, we'll see how the ending goes. I don't really want to give any more updates until I'm nearly at the end. So I will talk to you later. Also, sorry for this vlog being kind of boring. I usually do fun stuff, but I'll make up for it in another vlog. Bye for now. Guys, I finally finished this book. It took me so long. And I'll give you my final thoughts on it, and like obviously the spoiler updates. I rated it 3 stars, and it's this thing that I find with some fantasy series that I struggle with, particularly with romantasy. So anyway, let me give you some quick updates on what had happened and what I thought about it while it was happening. All right, so a lot of like random stuff was happening. The Queen of Paramel died. It didn't become relevant at all. We just got like a new king, which was the Duke guy. The Duke? Whatever, that weird guy. They didn't get punished for traveling the other islands and not like checking back in, because the king was just happy that Eric was found, because he was one of the princes and he just snuck off to go to the War College. And the king was like, oh, my son's okay. Like, you guys aren't gonna be in trouble. Whatever. There's that. That just felt like a bit too easy. Also, like the whole island hopping thing, I was just like, whatever. Like, it had some relevance because you get to meet the people of Umbriel, which have the same kind of hair situation as Violet, and you're starting to get inklings of what's going on there, but nothing is fully answered in this book. You're like, there's some kind of priestess bonding to the goddess of Dune, but like, I don't know what that means. Her father like brought her there to be like blessed. They called it something else, like touched maybe? That sounds bad. I don't know what it was called. And then after that you get like dedicated. She never got dedicated, so that's why her hair's only half silver. But I don't know what any of that means. In bigger news, one of the other first years at the War College starts manifesting shadow daddy powers, which is worrying because there's only supposed to be like one in a generation or one in a whatever amount of time. And Xaden obviously has the shadow magic. And Xaden's like, yeah, it's because magic knows. So this kid is basically supposed to be his replacement because it needs to like balance good and evil, and Xaden is like turning evil because of this venin thing, so it needs to balance out. Okay, right? Not good. And then Vi finds out that her second signet is basically like dream walking. She'd accidentally been slipping into Xaden's dreams a couple times, and she slipped into one of Marin's dreams. Cool, I guess. Not like the most offensive dream, but it's another one of those like mind reading type dreams. So if anybody found out that she could do it, they would kill her. Then they get under attack. They're at Orisha for the time being because they're studying like the rune making thing, and for whatever, the students have to travel to Orisha to do that. It's under attack because their ward isn't like fully forged, and the Wyvern have been breaking through the shield, like getting closer and closer to the city. So they fight this battle. And then, you know, they're surviving. They're not doing great. That dark wielder chick, Theo, shows up, and she's just always talking shit. Like, she wants Violet for some reason. Again, I have no idea why. I have no concept of, like, why the Venin are doing anything. I guess they want to steal the dragon eggs, which by the end of the book, they steal, like, at least 6 of them. But I just don't know what their motivation is long term. You know, they're like draining the land of its power, and then it becomes a wasteland, like they can't do anything. So it's like, you're draining so much power to fight this war for what? Like, I don't get it. It's like, you don't need dragons, you have your Wyvern. I really, truly don't understand. Well, I guess if they have dragons, because dragons are innately magical, because the Wyvern are generated by the Venin. The Wyvern's power, I assume, comes from the Venin, but a rider's power comes from the dragon. So maybe they want to steal the dragons and like make them like slave dragons so they can have a endless source of power, maybe. But I know if they touch like the rider's dragons, they would drain them and kill them. I'm theorizing. I have no idea. So very confused with that still by the end, which is a little frustrating, but I guess hopefully more things will be answered further on into the series. Then there's drama with the Irids, right? So one of the iridescent dragons, while they were having the battle, shows up and then finishes firing off the ward stone because it needs to be like all 7 of the dragon species or whatever, and they only had 6. He comes to fire their ward stone to make it like actually effective, and then the Wyverns start dropping dead, which is great. And he's like, yeah, I only did this for Andarna, you know, Vi's second dragon. And he's like, you gotta come with me so you can learn our ways. And he's like, you have to break the bond with Violet, and she has another dragon, she'll survive. And Violet says to Andarna, like, I want you to do what's best for you. Andarna decides to leave with that other dragon, and then Vi, like, almost dies because the separation is, like, so brutal for her. Tarn is like, breathe, live! So she does, but she's, like, hella depressed for, like, a few days. But, you know, she eventually finds the will to continue on. They're just going back to school and shit. Okay, and then Mira, Vi's sister, gets kidnapped by that Venin chick, Theo, because Theo wants to set a trap for Vi. Again, she's obsessed with Vi. I don't know why. It's like she needs to prove herself to this like stronger Venin guy. For what purpose? I have no idea. So there's like another battle, and we switch POVs a couple times. I don't know. One of the riders we've seen on and off is Quinn. She ends up dying. She was the one that had like the projection power where she could like have multiples of herself projected. She died, and I wasn't like emotional about it until Imogen was like, it's gonna be okay. Don't be scared. Like, my mom and my sister are waiting for you on the other side. They'll take care of you. And I was like, you find out that Eric has some kind of like premonition power, like better than that general guy that can see the outcomes of certain battles. He gives Vi this like marble dagger thing, which is made from the stones of that Dune temple, like one of the Dune temples. Theo was previously a priestess of Dune because her hair is silver, and obviously she like left the church of Dune. So the Dune goddess is pissed. You know, they're battling, whatever. Xaden goes a little crazy because he thinks Vi's gonna die. He like does like the final straw, sucks the magic from the earth to like blast shadows across the whole battlefield and like save everyone at his own expense. And then he becomes like more Venin because his eyes get completely red and he gets the like veins and shit. So there's no going back for him. It's very obvious that he's Venin now. He can't hide it from people. And then Vi takes that opportunity while the world is all black to shoot her lightning to light it up for a second and then stab Theo with the marble dagger, killing her, which is good. I'm a bit winded. Oh, also Andarna had shown up for that, like, a moment, so she's back. But she didn't do anything, like, crazy helpful, I guess. Yeah, so that was, like, the biggest thing. Oh, and then in other news, Penchek, which is, like, one of the professors, he had been a rat. Like, he was ratting out intel about the riders and like Navarre and Orisha, all the people that were like battling against the Venin, to the Venin people. I don't know why, but you find that out. And you also find out that Xaden can't kill his sage, his master Venin guy, like even though he wants to, even if the guy's standing right there, like he physically is unable to kill this guy. So just an FYI fun fact. And then the very last chapter was kind of interesting. Everybody's like back from the battle. Vi's been missing, but she shows up and they're like, where have you been? It's been 12 hours. And it's her and Imogen. And Vi's like, I don't know. She's like, I don't remember anything. She's like, I've lost the last 12 hours. But she looks at her hand and she has a ring on the most important finger. It's obvious that it's a ring from Xaden because it has a stone that like matches like his family heirlooms and all this stuff, right? And there's a note or like some official document saying that their marriage has been sanctified or something. So they're officially married. And she's like, I'm fucking married? Like, what the fuck? And she looks at Imogen. She's like, well, what's going on? And she's like, did you erase my memories? And Imogen's like, yeah, I did what you asked me to. So Vi was up to something after that battle and then erased her own memories, I guess, to protect Xaden, which was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I did like that part. And then that's the end of the book. It was too long. The book is too fucking long. The thing with fantasy romance, or like sometimes fantasies in general, though I haven't read a lot of just like straight fantasy series from beginning to end, but with these long fantasy romance series, sometimes I get a little frustrated by the third book because, or like beyond, because I'm like, I want more of the questions answered, you know? And I trust Rebecca Yarros more than I have other romantasy authors that I've read in the past for like where she's planning the plot to go. Like I feel like she knows where it's going, which is great and encouraging. But at the same time, I'm like, this book was so long to have so few questions answered. You know, I feel like a lot more questions were posed. A lot of cool elements are woven in that were alluded to early on, which was cool, but it like was just breadcrumbs. And I'm like, this book is so long. Like I need a little bit more than that. So that's what frustrates me a bit. I'm like, I just want to know what the motivation of the Venin are. I want to know why Theo was trying to get Vi so badly. And then with like the whole iridescent dragon thing, Vi was trying to find them. One, because Endarna wanted to find her family and like her origins and stuff, but two, because she thought they would be able to help her defeat the Venin, like that they would know some like ancient secret of how the Venom were defeated hundreds of years ago. But they didn't know anything. They didn't know anything, or they weren't willing to share anything. So it's like we spent so much of the book looking for them for it to mean like basically nothing. It meant nothing to the plot of this book. Like we found them and then nothing. So we don't even know what Andarna learned from them, like nothing. So that was also agitating. So yeah, that's it. That is it. I'm really excited to now be able to watch all the other vlogs and discussions about the book and also talk about it with Eliza and Sam once Sam finishes it. I just feel like I gain so much more when I get other people's perspective on things that had happened in a particular book. So I know Eliza really enjoyed it, so I'd love to know the insights that she's picked up since finishing it, because I think she's been like watching like theories videos and stuff. Thank you so much for spending time with me while I read this big, chunky, beautiful bad boy here. I will aim to make more vlogs that are a little bit more entertaining and fun visually for you while I like enjoy my life in New York City. We'll try to get back on that track. It's been a little bit chaotic with these very like spoiler vlogs, but we'll go back into like regular vlog style soon. I hope to start one today. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it, and obviously it helps out my channel. And I will catch you in another video. Bye!